Hello. Oh, I see people. Excellent. Hello, everyone. I just have to turn off a light here. Okay, and I'm going to just grab my drink. I'll be right back. How's everyone doing? Let's see. I don't see any comments yet. Don't be shy. Say hello. Oh, there's Karen. Hello, hello. I've been waiting for this all weekend. This has been something I've wanted to do for a little bit, and I thought tonight was a good night to do it. Plus, I had a really busy weekend, and I didn't have much time to prep anything, so this is a good project. Okay, how was everyone's weekend? Good? Busy? Crazy? Today we had a family Christmas thing, and then right from there we went to our grandson Liam's hockey game, and he scored 2 goals, so we were very excited about that. Came home, I quickly inhaled some food, and here I am. Oh, that's kind of how weekends are for me. Busy, busy. Hello, hello. I'm so glad you guys decided to join. I'm sure more people will filter in as they get settled. But tonight we are going to, I'm going to be swatching my color vibe cardstock from Simple Stories. And the reason that this came about was because they sent out an email, and in it they had created a template, which you see here, for this to happen. And I was really excited about it because I thought, oh my gosh, this is something that I've wanted to do for a while, and then they have done all the work for me. So I love that. I do have swatches for cardstock in my craft room already, and it is a huge tool. I use it a lot. How many of you guys, just in the comments, let me know, how many of you have swatched your cardstock? Hello, Shelby. Is that something that you do? I never used to. I didn't really see the value in it. I actually used to make fun of people that took all the time to like label things and really, spend all of that time in their room organizing and not crafting. And but I didn't get it. And now I love organizing almost as much as crafting. And for me, it just makes crafting so much easier. So sometimes taking the time to do this swatching is worth it, because it pays off in the long run for sure. So I see a few people, someone says, how many have started and never finished? ? That's me. Well, I get that. Jen says she's created tags and labeled them. Well, I can show you that I've kind of done the same thing. It doesn't matter how you do it. It can be something super simple. It doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be, super fancy or anything. It just needs to be functional. So this is one of my collections of cardstock, and it is simply a piece of cardstock that I cut, put on a ring, and I stuck a label to the back. So that's it. But I can grab this ring and I can lay it next to a project that I'm working on, and I can pick out colors immediately. I don't have to, pull all my papers off my shelf, and then, because whatever you pull off, you got to put back. So that becomes a problem. But yeah, I have something as simple as that. And then with my Spellbinders cardstock, as a retailer, I was given a little kit where I could use a die and create these beautiful swatches that have like the stamped names and all that. And they're nice and big, which I also really love. But I probably wouldn't, if I'm honest with myself, I probably wouldn't have done that if I didn't have the tools with me to do it. They gave me the cardstock pack and everything, and I was able to do it. And the value that this brings to my craft room is huge. Like I said, if I want to match colors with any pattern paper that I have, I can just go straight to this. And knowing the manufacturer of the paper makes it super easy. I did mention in our email that We are very, very, in the very, very near future, we are going to be flipping to just online. So we won't have a storefront that you can come to. Now, that being said, we are just an email away. So if you are having trouble, matching something, we can try and help you do that. But like older collections that you've had in your stash for 15 years, how do you know what cardstock to order that's going to match? So if you have a swatch of the brands that you like to use, then you can just, take your swatch over to your paper and match it up, and then you know exactly what you need to order. So it's a really great tool. I find I'm using mine more and more often. So let me just catch them on. I have one brand of cardstock swatched, but it is over 5 years old, and many of those colors no longer exist. Yeah, so that's the thing. It's definitely, you want to find one that you can work with, or one that you have a supply of. Even if you're not, worried about ordering cardstock online, just to have that tool in your craft room that you can just pull out really easily and match things up to, that is great. And then inks is another whole thing. I haven't done a lot of ink swatching. I did a little bit. So this one is my Catherine Pooler inks. And again, I kept it really simple. I just die cut out a shape. I ink blended on one part of it with a blending brush, and then I stamped it on another part so that I can see the difference. So that is all of my Catherine Pooler inks. And then what other one do I have here? Oh, Pink Fresh. Yes. So those are done. But all my other inks are not, and I probably should do that. But I don't use my ink swatches quite as often as I use my cardstock ones. I find ink is pretty easy for me. I just kind of grab colors, I think, and then I'll do like quick little swatches on a scrap piece of paper. And if I really find a color combination that I like, sorry, I'm moving around here. I've done this before, and it's not the most efficient option. I know that. I'm just going to pull these out just to see what I can show you. So I've shown these in lives before. I have a couple of rainbow combinations I like. So I swatched this out just before I was doing a live, and then I just jotted down the colors that I used, and then I keep this card handy. It's over by my Pink Fresh inks, and so I'll pull that out. Here's one that I did with Concord and Ninth, another combination I really liked. I didn't even label this one, so I have no idea what that is. And then here, I actually ink blended, and then I did some die cuts out of it, but I wrote on it what I used just so I would have that. Those are Distress Oxides. And then I've even done this. Where I think that's where my original Pink Fresh swatch came from. And then I actually swatched it out. So I have a few things done. I also have this ring here that I've sort of started doing as well, where I have combinations that I like, and I'll just jot them down, and I just stamp on the back or put a label on so that I know what company it is. So, I do have a few things done with my inks, but to me, that's not as important as my cardstock. I really think my cardstock is valuable. I'm just going to see here what we're going to say. Swatch my inks, very useful, but can't imagine doing cardstock. Cheryl, cardstock's actually easier. It really is. Cynthia needs bigger rings. I do have my scraps in rainbow order. Yeah. So, and everybody's approach to it is going to be a little bit different. So Judy says it would be nice if, let me just put this up. It'd be nice if companies would sell a small piece of each color of their cardstock to cut a small swatch. Yes. So Spellbinders does. And we have sold out of them. I've ordered more, so we should be getting those soon. It's a little, I think it's an A2 size pack of cardstock that they sell that you can either use for, you can use the whole pack as a swatch, or you can make swatches from that. So it would be nice if they did do it. And, customers have asked us, oh, are you going to make swatches that we can buy? And then that way we'll have, the cardstock colors. It's very time consuming. So no, we're not going to do that. That's something you got to do. Yeah, unfortunately, and I know why they don't do it. It's because it's time consuming. And sometimes they do sample packs of cardstock where you get one of each color. I think Concord and Ninth has one right now. There's 48 colors in their line, and they have a pack of 48. But then sometimes they'll add new colors in and they don't put them in their original 48. They're like add-on packs. And trying to keep up with it is a lot. Like it really is. Other companies do not do that. No. Spellbinders was the only one that I have ever seen them do. And I honestly think the reason that they did it is because they did it for us as retailers. I have to say Spellbinders is one of the most interactive companies with retailers. Like every month we have a Zoom call with them and they're super transparent with us and they're very educational and they keep us really updated. I wish all companies did that. But I also hear retailers complaining that they can't set aside the time to do that. And I'm like, well, some things you just got to make time for. But I do get it. I mean, it's busy and there's a lot of things to do. But sometimes you have to take matters into your own hands, you know. And I was saying to Christina, we were talking earlier this week. I know she's on here. She said that she's been wanting to, you know, swatch out her cardstock for a long time and just never gets around to it. So when you're sitting here listening to me gabbing, pull out some cardstock. Start swatching it. If you don't finish it tonight, that's okay. Set it aside, make a little pile, and then next Sunday night when I go live, you pull it out again. Or next time you have like even 10 minutes to come in your craft room and quickly do a couple, even if you only swatch like 3 colors and you do little bits of it at a time, before you know it, you'll have it done. Honestly, I am a huge preacher when it comes to snippets of time. These Sunday night things, I'm really going to try to keep it regular on Sunday nights. Now, I can't always promise it, but it's my goal. I love this. I love setting aside the time for myself to sit down and do this. So, you know, again, just pick one grouping of cardstock and do it. Now, again, tonight I'm going to focus on the color vibe. Now, I know a lot of our scrapbookers use the color vibe cardstock, and they're going to want to be matching the cardstock to papers they have in their stash. You know, oh, now she's working on her quilt. You see, well, I guess that's for you too. And that's okay. You do you. And, you know, a while back, I was big on this. Well, you know, that's your crafting journey. You figure out what works for you. And you have to do what's best for you. I'm only going to tell you what works for me. And I know that I'm going to have all of my cardstock swatched by the time I'm done tonight, whether it's all live or whether it's, you know, afterwards or whatever, because this is also something that I can just take out to my family room and not make a big, huge mess. And I can finish it up out there. So I definitely, this is valuable to me. I also have a new saying too, that if I don't make something a priority in my life, then I'm going to miss out on stuff. So, for instance, there's a few manufacturers that do clubs or monthly releases, and I know about them and I like their style. So I make it a priority to be aware of when that's being released, and I make sure that I set aside the time to focus on being informed about that. So again, if this is a priority in your life, if this is something you want to implement, you'll make time for it. If it isn't, you'll probably put it aside and you might get around to it whenever it suits you. And that's what I mean when I say it's your crafting journey. You can decide how, when, and why you want to do something. For me, it's important, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. Now, like I said, they sent out an email, and right away it resonated with me. I was like, oh my gosh, that's something I've been wanting to do it. I'm going to do it on Sunday night live because I know a lot of people struggle with this. So I am going to put a link in here. I'll have to probably do it several times because I just have to find it now. Here we go. I can't figure out, and I will probably for another live figure out how to pin it to the top. Okay, so here is the link for the download. And it's free. So you have to add it to your cart. You have to check out, and it'll go right to your email. And then you can download the PDF, and it prints out on 8.5 by 11 cardstock. Now, I was lucky. This is 110 weight paper, and it did go through my printer. I don't know if it'll go through everybody's printer, but you can see. So their color groupings are done like they have bolds, boho, darks, brights, lights, and then they have the woods. And I have all the woods, but they're filed differently. So I'm not going to do those tonight. I have to dig them out. Summer, spring, and basics. So, and then they have some fall, winter, and that's it. So that covers all of their things. So it's not going to be like in a gradient color order, like you might like some of your other cardstocks to be. That's not how they do it. But because they've done the work for me, I'm just going to use their template. It's quick and easy for me to do. Just in the comments, can you click on this link here that I put up in the comments? Does it take you to that download thing? Because I went on before I went live to try to pin it to the top, and the instructions they're giving me say to click on something that doesn't even exist. So I have to investigate it a little bit further, but I'm hoping that that link will go in there. Yes. Okay, perfect. Awesome. So you don't have to do anything special. You just download it and then you can print it. So I'll post that a few times. And when this video is over, I will post it in the comment or in the video description on YouTube underneath this video so that it will be there for you guys to refer back to. But it is awesome. So on the printout, you can see these faint lines there. I'm going to cut these out and then I'm going to swatch. So this is where we get to have conversations and chat about whatever. And I'm going to grab my iPad so I can actually see everyone's comments right in front of me because my computer is off to the side. And sometimes if I'm not looking, I miss stuff. So I'll just pull this up on here. So I'm not really creating anything too fun and interesting tonight, but it is going to be functional for sure. So let's go to YouTube. So who's going to work on swatches tonight? Anybody? Come on. my iPad is still, it's just being real slow. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we're going to pull that up and I'm going to watch this live and I can see the chat and it's going to be great. Okay. So Lisa McEwen is working on swatches. Oops, I just hit my mic. Sorry about that if it was loud. That's awesome. And Joanne is. And Cynthia's doing what? Christmas cards. She swatched 3 weeks ago. Oh gosh, I'm late to the party. Cleaning your craft room while you watch. That's perfect. Well, you know, whatever you need to work on is great. It doesn't have to be the swatches, but again, you can add this to your list of things to do. There are going to be times when I have to use my larger trimmer, and I've set up a cart next to me, so you might hear me cutting cardstock off screen. But how's everyone doing with their Christmas shopping? Oh, and I should mention, if you want to pick up some Color Vibe cardstock, it is on sale, 20% off this weekend with our click and save, and that goes until midnight tonight. So if you have gaps in your Color Vibe that you want to pick up, then this is a great weekend to do that, because like I said, you get 20% off. You know what? I always say I'm going to use my trimmer. Sometimes I like to use my X-Acto knife because then I can cut exactly how they have it, but I've lost my ruler. Where is my metal ruler? It should be in my drawer. Shelby says I lose things all the time, and she's not wrong. Sometimes when you put everything away, you can't find it. Okay, Kim says she doesn't even know what she's doing. I'm having one of those nothing looks right nights. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Kim. That is a frustrating thing for sure. If I'm going to use my X-Acto knife, I have to have my ruler. Oh, I know. Hold on. Well, I don't know where it is. Okay, we're just going to go with the trimmer. Yeah, it's not fun when you have bad crafting mojo going. It's not a great thing. And then Cynthia's done her shopping. Wow. Well, I mean, I've got a good jump on it. I feel pretty organized, which is a good thing. But I'm definitely not done. And then Lynn says she hasn't even started. Oh my gosh, well, that would stress me out. But I've been there before. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's hard to get going and, you know, keeping it all organized. I'm using the Tailored Expressions Postmark North Pole collection. Ooh, Angela, that's a good one. So with our card swap, the next swap, which sign up starts tomorrow, it's postage themed, and I have that in my collection too. And I can't decide if I want to do another Christmas theme or pick something else. I have a number of things to choose from because I have a bit of a postage obsession. So that is something. Mine is all swatched, and today I finished a few Christmas cards to be handed out. Well, that's lovely, Judith. Yep. Some people are really organized in their craft rooms. And Diane's working on Christmas cards that she's donating to a senior's home. Oh, Cynthia. You know what? You shouldn't have told me that, because then I was just so impressed. Cynthia says she only has 3 people to buy for. That's why she's done. Yeah, I'm not there. I have 3 grandkids, and that's like blowing the budget right there. I keep saying every year, I'm not going to do all this unnecessary stuff, and then I just can't help it. I don't know. Okay, so let's start with these. Okay, so now cut along the lines. Well, mostly, right this way. I didn't do this one here. The lines are kind of faded, but it works quite nicely. So I've got summer, I've got spring, I've got basics, and I've got fall, which I got to chop off here. Karen hasn't started. Well, that's okay. You know what? You guys will get it done. As women, we just pull it all together. And then Marianne wants to know, how's it December tomorrow? I have no idea. You blew your budget on 3 people? Oh my. Okay. Marianne's organized her baking list and her card lists. Calendar's packed for the next 3 weeks. Yeah, it's funny how it just creeps up on you so quickly, right? 185 to do. Oh, you have 185 done and you need 200. Oh my gosh. 200 cards? That's crazy. I'm lucky if I get 12. Oh, that's a lot of cards. Okay, so there is my little swatches, and then there's a little mark in the top there that's faded that you can punch a hole, put it on your ring. So I am going to start with, I pulled some colors out. So let's start with the summer one. And I got a whole pile of cardstock here that I pulled some out of my file. So I just have to find these colors. I see denim, I think. What color is that? Peacock, is that on this list? No, so it's probably way back here. Key duck. That's denim right there. Okay, so we're going to start with this pile. So I figured out on here that my swatch can be like about 3/4 of an inch by 2.5. And that's going to fit nicely into this little slot and leave a little space. So some of the sheets I'm cutting into are full sheets. And some of them I had scraps for. So I'm just going to, like I said, I've got my larger trimmer off screen here because it just doesn't fit on my desk with my camera. So I'm just kind of doing it off to the side. Oh, come on. Okay, so like there's a 3/4 inch strip. And then it needs to be about 2.5 long. And then I'm going to use liquid glue to stick it on. I did cut my my background panels on 110-pound cardstock, so it will be nice and sturdy. Okay, so I'm just going to show you what one will look like. So it's going to go down here just above the word denim. It's just going to kind of fit in there like that. So it'll kind of look like a paint strip when we're done. But it'll be really easy for me to hold these up to my paper or whatever. I use this cardstock a lot when I do the calendar series. The letters that I cut the months out of, I use Color Vibe all the time. And so it'll be nice just to pull these swatches over rather than try to pull out a bunch of pieces of paper and go, oh no, that one doesn't work. That one's not right. And then I have to put it all back. This will just make it super easy. Okay, so that's denim. Done. And now I'm going to, the next one I need is pool. Oh, and I discovered I don't have pool. So now I need lime. I can't find pool, so I'm missing it. One I'm going to have to pick up at the store. I've got to go in tomorrow, so that'll be easy. Okay, the lime. And then we'll cut this down to 2.5. When I have scraps to work with, it's easy. I can do it on screen, but so that's lime. And then I need sunshine. Ugh, no scrap for that one either. So was there anybody out shopping today at the malls or anything? I don't have any idea what that's like right now. Is it busy? We got more snow here today, like overnight last night and into today. So was everyone just staying home and being cozy, or are they out running around doing errands and shopping and things at the mall? Or were you crafting all day? I have some crafty projects that I'm working on as gifts, and I haven't even started them yet. So that's a little bit stressful. But I will get them done. I usually do. And then tomato is the next one. Oh, look, I have a scrap. Okay, that's good. So this one I can just cut off the end here. Are you just using solid side of cardstock? I am. I'm just going to put the solid side up. Most times that's the color, that's the side I'm using. I don't really use the dot side very often. Sometimes, but not often. So I'm just going to put the solid side up. I mean, you could do a double swatch in there, just making it a little more narrow, and then you could show both sides. Okay, so that's tomato. And then one more. See how fast this is? It's really not that bad. Flamingo. And I also have a scrap for that too. And Karen was home and completed a scrapbook page today. Kim said, we went to the city 2 hours away yesterday. It was nuts. Yeah, I kind of figured it might be nuts out there. I know there's a lot of craft shows and things that are on too. So people are out moving around and checking all of those out. You know, I just have such busy weeks that I just prefer to stay home if I can. So look how cool that is. Oh, I love this. So much easier than pulling out all my cardstock. So now I'm going to use my tweezers here. And I am going to grab that larger. Yes, this is a good time to use up some of this glue. I was using it up the other day for larger pieces. So I'm going to continue that journey. And so you could make your swatches a little bit wider. There's definitely room there to do that, but I like to have a little bit of white space in between. And I definitely like to have them on straight. Oh, Cynthia's been making t-shirts. Well, that's fun. And laundry in between. Yeah, that's the nice thing about, you know, crafting. You can kind of like be working away and then quickly switch a load to laundry, or, you know, make a batch of muffins and then come back in. And Shelby said she stayed home and made chili and did house stuff. Yeah, well, boring is sometimes okay. I mean, I was happy to go to the family Christmas thing that we did, and definitely happy to go and see my grandson play hockey, but I would also have been fine with just staying home. I like to putter a lot, you know, do a little of this and then do a little of that and then come back to this. And that's how I get a lot of things done. So we had a little bit of time this morning before we had to leave, but I didn't really get much done. And then what? Megan, I'm here finally. Well, welcome, Megan. You're not late. What are you working on tonight? I know you said you wanted to do a little bit of crafting. Anybody reading any good books or watching any really good TV shows? You can always share those too. Okay, let's see what Angie's been up to. She led one worship service this morning and was supposed to lead an evening service tonight. Oh, because it had to cancel because of the weather. Because you did say your Sunday nights were booked up for the next little while. So, I mean, it's bad that it's canceled because of the weather, but welcome. We're glad you're here. We're just working away. Well, I'm working away on my swatches for Color Vibe. And I did put a link in the chat for the download. And you print out these PDFs and they're all labeled and everything. So it's perfect. So I am missing one color for this one, but I will make a note to grab that when I'm at the store and then I can fill that in. But it also tells me that I don't have that in my file either. So I'm going to need to add that in case I need to use that color. So that's one done. Woohoo. Okay, so next up, we've got the spring collection here. And where's the one that says, okay, I just got to organize my papers here a bit. So spring has white on it. So that's back here. Aha, I found it. So here's my spring session. So white, I do not have a small scrap of them, so I'm just going to cut it. Okay. So the white for Color Vibe is a different, because this paper has a little bit of texture to it. I wouldn't say a lot, but just a little bit. And so it's different than my other white. So I'm going to swatch that. And then lilac. Oh, good. I have a little scrap. I'm going to cut these all first. And then we'll stick them on. So again, I'm cutting mine at 3/4 of an inch by 2.5. And that's giving me lots of spacing in between the colors when I put them on here. And then sky, I have a scrap for that. Yeah, you know what? So it's a thing. I get that. Cheryl's saying she doesn't think she could cut into an unused piece of paper. But the thing is, I have a file set up with all these colors in it. And then all of my scraps for these colors go back in that same file. So that way I don't waste anything and it's always together. But, you know, in order to have the swatch, you got to cut into it. But I do have lots of scraps, like lots of pieces that are like, you know, half sheets or whatever. But there are a few colors that either I used all the scraps or I don't use it often enough to have scraps. Because there are some colors in a line that you just never really use. And I find that with my 8.5 by 11 paper too, the way I have it set up in my files, all of my scraps go back into the sleeve with the original color. So that way, if I need a scrap, it's there. Could you cut off the strip? You could totally use the barcode if you wanted to. So here's the barcode. And then on one side it's got the solid and the other side it's got the stripe. But to me, that won't fit into my craft room very well. So I would definitely rather do this. But that's me. That's my crafting journey. You can have your crafting journey. And not all cardstock has barcodes either. Like a lot of the 8.5 by 11 sheets are full sheets of cardstock. There's no barcode or anything on them. So you don't have that option. But I'm okay with cutting into my sheet. And Megan, she said, I'm working on the TE watercolors panel. Holiday tags. Oh, that's a nice one. The barcode strip on this would work. Yes. But to me, like just the swatch, like that little 1/2 inch strip, that would work. You could add that too. It's going to be narrower, and that's totally okay. But I'm fine with cutting into my paper because I'm going to use it. So, and then apricot's my last color. I'm not worried about that. And these most of them have already been cut into. But yes, you could totally use the barcode strip because here you've got the dot, and then if you flip it over, you've got this. So if you just use that part and make your swatch out of that, you can still attach it to this for sure. And it would just be a little narrower, and that won't make much difference. You can still match up your color for sure. Okay, look at that. Done. Just have to cut this one down. And then we have another one complete. So see, it doesn't really take that long because Simple Stories has done a lot of the work for you. It's very easy to put this together for sure. So whenever a company comes out with this, and I know that there's influencers like Jennifer McGuire and others that have made up swatch charts for inks and all kinds of different things. And they're free to download, and you can print them out, and then you can use them in your craft room too. Okay, I see somebody has a question. I have a bunch of Basil and a bunch of Recollections. Which should I collect next for card making? Running low on Recollections. Okay, well, we don't like to talk about Recollections here. That's a personal choice. We carry several brands of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. And so the thing is, a lot of the companies will come out with cardstock that matches their inks. If that's not important to you, then I say shop color. And you don't have to stick to one brand. They're often very similar in weight and quality, so that's not going to be a problem. You're definitely going to be taking a huge step up with cardstock if you're going with the brands we carry versus that Recollection stuff, because like I said, we don't talk about that here. But you will notice a big, big difference. And this cardstock that I'm using here, this is more for scrapbooking in my mind, in my craft room, than it is for card making. I know Amanda used it a lot for card making at first because it's what she had on hand, but then she's recently switched to the heavier weight cardstock that we use, like Concord and Ninth or Tailored Expressions or Gina K. And she goes, Mom, this is so much nicer. And I'm like, yes, it is. Because I find when you're die cutting, it just, the way it cuts is just so much nicer. You get a lot more detail from the die in your cardstock die cuts than you do with a lighter weight, which would be this style here. But it's great for layering and things like that for sure. And I mean, you can die cut from it. It's not that you can't. Okay, there's another one done. So we've got two. And now this one is the one that has the winter white. I pulled them all out. This is my basics one. Okay, I think that's this pile here. And again, I have some scraps, but some of them aren't quite small enough to fit in my trimmer. So I have to go to my big one. And I could pull out a desktop trimmer, like a Fiskars blade trimmer, but I am so hooked on a guillotine trimmer that I can't use the other ones anymore unless I absolutely have to. So there's our black. So I'm doing the basics one now. So there's black, and then we've got charcoal. I've got to cut over here. Yeah, some of them I was kind of surprised I didn't have scraps. I must have used them all because I definitely use these colors. And there's the charcoal. And we need gray. There's the gray. And then we need brown. Oh, I have a scrap for that. So Angie's saying, I use Recollections all the time before I discovered your store. Didn't realize the difference in cardstock. Yes. I mean, it's just a much nicer weight. For sure. And there's our brown. And then cream. And then there's a warm white. So I'm going to do right now I'm using Color Vibe. So that's from Simple Stories. And it is a 12 by 12 cardstock that a lot of our scrapbookers use. So I talked at the beginning of the video that we are moving to a 100% online platform. So our retail store will be closing on December 23rd. And for a lot of our customers, that isn't going to make any difference to them at all because they've never been to our store and they will never come because they don't live close enough to do that. And the topic of conversation has come up a few times with our people that live close to us that can come into our store. They are going to miss the fact that they can bring in paper that they might have in their stash, older collections or whatever, and match it up. And now with having to flip to the online platform, like how will they do that? And then this is where the color swatching is really beneficial because then you have swatches of the cardstock handy. And when you need to order more, it's very easy to do. You know the name of it, you know the shade of it and all that sort of stuff. So it is definitely handy for sure. Karen, off topic. I just found some gold cardstock die cut joy letters that I got as a promotion from you guys a year or two ago. I wondered what the project was. Oh, I have no idea. So here's what I always tell people. If it happened 2 days ago, or it's going to happen in the next 2 days, I can probably talk about it. But outside that window, I'm like, woo. I mean, there's just too much stuff going on. Yeah, without seeing it or having a little bit more information, I'm not good at that. I just, there's too many things to remember. Well, I love how fast these are coming together for sure. I'm going to have this done in no time. And I'm going to be so thankful every time I need to match a color that I have done this because it's just going to be super fast. And the other thing is when I'm done all this, I've pulled out all this paper. I can put it back pretty easily. And then I never have to pull it out again unless I'm going to use it. Yeah, sorry, Karen. I'm not sure. Okay, here we go. Stick this down pretty quickly. So for those of you who are swatching, how's it going? Good? You making progress? And this is something too where you can just turn a show on TV or one of your favorite YouTube people and just carry on, get it done, and not be bored. Yes. It is only, it's exclusively 12 by 12. There's no smaller sheets for this. Because again, Simple Stories is a scrapbook, like a paper collection company. So again, a lot of scrapbooking is done in a 12 by 12 format. So that's kind of their market for sure. And it's definitely a popular seller for us. And like I said before, we do have our click and save sale going on this weekend till midnight tonight. It's the last day. So you could pick up some colors that you might be missing in your collection at 20% off. The information about the sale is on our Facebook page. There's a link to our email and it has all the information, the discount code, all that stuff that you need to know. You can get that through that link. And it was funny because I announced that I was working with this and all of a sudden we were selling a whole lot of Color Vibe. People were like, wait, I'm going to need that cardstock. Okay, sorry I'm late. Do you swatch both sides because they're different? I am not, but you could. You could print these out here. I'm going to pop that link in there again because I know it's gone into the chat pretty far. So this is the swatch. Oh, I buried my keyboard here. Just let me get these out of the way. Those are done. Let me get this link and put it in here. So here is the link to the download. It's from Simple Stories and it is free. So you can print it out as many times as you want. So you could either narrow your strips and do one side and the other. I'm only doing the solid side. That's the part that's most important to me. But you could totally, I wonder if I can pin this now. Let me just see. No, it still doesn't have the option. What if I star it? I'm not sure what that's going to do. Probably nothing. I know I can get to the link quickly if I star it, but I don't think it's going to do anything in here. Yeah, I'm just doing the solid side because that's what's important to me, but you could totally either narrow, like put two narrow strips in between and to show the dotted side, or you could do a second set and show the dot that way. So that's 3 done. Now, I don't think I pulled these out yet. So I'm going to set that one aside. Now I've got to cut this up because I know I did these. So we're back to cutting out the template, but it has lines, so it's pretty easy to do. And like I said, for anybody who's joining a little bit later, I did cut this out of 100, or not cut, I printed it on 110 pound white Nina cardstock so that it's nice and heavy and it won't be too flimsy. And it did go through my printer, but I know some printers don't like to take the heavier paper. So just be careful. You don't want to jam up your printer. But I know I have done it before, so I knew I was safe. But you can always print it on a lighter weight and then just back it with a second layer to add some stiffness, or maybe mount it on like a piece of chipboard or something a little heavier if you wanted to. But they did do all the work and it's pretty easy to use. All right, let's see here. So now I have pink teal. Which one? That's this one right here. Perfect. More questions. What about putting the dotted pattern on the back? You totally could. How many Color Vibe colors are there? You know, I don't know that for sure. So how many are on a thing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different pieces. Now this one is their wood grain. So let's say we've got 10 different pieces. So that would be 60 colors. So there's a lot of colors for sure. But which one did I say I had? Oh, this one. Because I've got those colors right here. So 60 colors. And then they do have their wood grains and stuff, which they also have a swatch for too. And those would be ones that I would want a second sheet for, because you definitely want to see front and back on those. And I'm not even sure that I would really, I might not swatch those out, because that's more of a pattern paper. I don't think I need to swatch those. Yeah, Shelby said 66 colors, including the wood ones. I did print swatches. There's a link in the chat. If you just scroll up a little bit, Judy, you'll find the link. And the Simple Stories has done all the work for us. It's really easy. Print on regular paper and then glue. Yes. Lisa, sometimes sometimes printers don't like the heavyweight paper. So, yeah. So the woods one I'm going to set aside, because I'm not sure I'm going to swatch those. I don't think I need to do that for myself. But they do have the option in their little printout here. And yes, Judy, there is a link for the printout that you can download and print out the swatch pieces on 8.5 by 11 cardstock. They've done all the work. It's so nice. Okay, so that was pink, and now I need red. I also have a scrap. See, I have lots of scraps. There's not too many that I haven't cut into. There are a few, but not lots. There's the red. And then orange. So orange, yellow, and green I have to cut into. So I'm going to do that over here. So I'm just off screen for a minute. Just using my cart here for a trimmer table. So there's the orange. And green. One more. Ooh. Okay, and yellow. So there we just have all the strips there. I'm ready to cut these down. Judy, you need to have the cardstock. Well, you would have the names, like, so the download, it looks like this. There's no color on it or anything. So if you want to swatch them, you're going to need to have the colors in order to do that. How many colors of Vibe do you stock? All of them. We carry the whole collection. So we have them all. Now, we don't always have them all in stock. I know there's a couple that were on back order when we ordered, so we're just waiting for them to come in. But generally, we have the whole, that's the full line of 12 by 12 cardstock that we carry. So here's the thing. And again, we talked at the beginning that it's your crafting journey. You can decide how you want to go about this. If you want to have a library of cardstock, I mean, you can go about it a lot of different ways. You can invest in one brand and, collect all the colors from that. And then you just work with that brand and you kind of, pull from that for it to be your library. You can jump around from brand to brand and just collect colors that you like. If you find, like if you're a scrapbooker, you want to find a cardstock that you can get a good supply all the time. So wherever you order from, we'll pretend that that's us. Wherever you order from regularly, whatever it is that they carry that you want to have a good supply chain is what I'm trying to say. And then, in my opinion, I mean, if you're a serious crafter, you want to have some system in place so that you know what the colors look like and what the names of them are, so it's easy for you to order when you need to. Because there's nothing worse than the frustration level to turn you off of doing something. That's just what happens to me. If it's super frustrating, I'm just like, nope, I'm not doing this. So I've, put systems in place in my own craft room that make it easier for me to do what I want to do. And for everybody, that's different. I mean, what works for me may not work for you. Sometimes budgets are a thing. You have to decide how you want to spend your crafty budget. So, but I think it's a very valuable thing to have the swatches and knowing what the colors are and what they look like in real life. And then that way, when you want to use them or you are running low and, we have click and save weekend, you can say, oh, you know what? I just made notes. I need these colors. I can quickly go on and order them and it's done. So, but it just really depends on how you want to approach the whole thing. I would say I'm a pretty serious crafter. I have a store. I'm in my room a lot. I need systems in place that are going to make that easy for me. And when I saw this swatching opportunity come up, I thought, oh my gosh, I'm doing this. And I'm going to do it live because I want people to see the value in it. But you might be saying, you know what? I'm not wasting my time doing that. And I used to be one of those people, but not anymore. So I don't know. Marianne, what are your thoughts on that? I know a lot of people, like, again, once I said I was doing this and they knew there was going to be a download available and they already had Color Vibe in their library, they went to town and they bought, one of every color that we had or ones that they were missing so that they could make these swatch cards. And this is going to be their go-to cardstock for scrapbooking. And I mean, it'll work for card making too. But it does have a little bit of texture to it. And there is a dot on one side, a solid on the other. So I'm doing the swatch for the solid side. And like I said, it's just going to make using them much easier. Okay, what else are we missing here? No, they don't print the colors. Yep, and that's a good approach there too, Tanya. Tanya said that she has almost all of them, but just bought a couple at a time. And now she just stocks up on her favorites because you're always going to have favorites. Colors you use a lot. Like I know that the one color called Robin's Egg, oh my gosh, like that coordinates with a lot of things. And it's a color that I tend to go to. I also like neutrals, like this palette is really nice. And I also like rainbow. So, so those are families of colors that I'm going to go to a lot. So I might make my rainbow up and use, pink, like whatever, whatever pink is my favorite, whatever red is my favorite, and so on. And then you'll know the ones that you have to order a little more frequently. And you just, you throw a few sheets in here and a few sheets in there. And you'll always have favorites for sure. So colors that you buy a little more often. But yeah, so doesn't that look great? Pretty fun so far. And I mean, I realized I don't have Pool in my library of colors when I was organizing here. So I'm going to definitely have to pick that up. So that's not a big deal. And I can just cut a quick swatch when I get it and then it'll be complete. So Tanya says it's a game changer. And I totally agree. But again, not everyone's going to see it that way. And I can respect that. But yeah, I'm converted. It's definitely a thing for me. Okay, now here's the lights. And that one has, okay, that's this one right here. Perfect. So this is the Robin's Egg color that I was talking about. And if you like to buy Simple Stories collections, you're going to find that a lot of their colors are repeated amongst their lines. So the Color Vibe cardstock was designed to coordinate with all of their collections. So in other words, it's going to be something that keeps popping up all the time. And it's definitely a company that we carry most of their paper collections. I'm not going to say all of them, but a lot of them we carry. And it's, similar color palettes that they release with. And then usually the Color Vibe cardstock is designed to go with it. And then what we try to do on our online store is if you click on a product from a Simple Stories collection, we try to have the coordinating colors there So if you scroll down, you'll see little boxes, and those are all the coordinating colors that kind of go with the collection. So that way it makes it a little easier for people to match things up. But we can't do that for every line. Or, well, maybe we will have more time to do that now. I don't know. We'll see. But that's why it's nice to have something in place for yourself so that you can match up papers. Plus, you might have papers in your collection from years and years ago, and it's just nice to have something to pull out and match up. Might take another decade. Oh my gosh. I was talking with somebody the other day, and I said that I purchased something, and she said, oh, now you can get started on that. And I said, yeah, in 2030. And she goes, well, that's a good year. Because I'm like, realistically, I'm not starting anything right now. But it's kind of funny when she said it, and I'm like, yeah, in 2030, I might get to it. It's good we can laugh about it, though, because it is true. There's so many things to do. I like this color palette that I'm working with right here. So even just making up the swatches, you go, ooh, those colors go really nicely together. There's blush. So this is called their Lights collection. And it's quite nice, actually. You made swatching cardstock look so easy. I think you have convinced me. Put this project on the bucket list. I'm definitely, Cheryl. And it is easy. It's not hard. It doesn't have to be stressful. It just has to happen is what you have to put it. So I have lots of little things I like to preach about. I'm a great advice giver, but I don't always follow my own advice. But here's the thing. So back in the day when my kids were a little bit younger, I kind of, had to prioritize things. And if it was important to me, I put it in my visual box, so in my box, I put the things that I want to do that are important to me. So in other words, swatching cardstock would be in the box, or, going to hockey games, or creating scrapbook layouts, or watching my favorite TV show, whatever was important to me, whatever brought me joy, I put in my box. But there's only so many things to put in the box. Like your box can't explode because, a person can only manage a certain size box. So my advice to you, Cheryl, is put the swatching in the box. And then when the swatching's done, you can take it out of the box and put something else in it. So yeah, you just have to prioritize whatever's important to you and whatever you think you're going to get the most value out of and go from there. That's how life works. That's what I've learned. And like I said, I'm a great preacher. I can tell you all kinds of things, but do I do them that way? Not always. And Christine is saying, do other companies provide card swatch templates? Well, I'm not sure. Not always, but I do know influencers like influencers like Jennifer McGuire. And I'm not saying she has it, but they do they make up templates that you can download from their blogs and things that do stuff. So I haven't done a lot of research. And Christine, if you weren't here for the very beginning of the video, I will show this again. Sometimes making cardstock swatches is as simple as cutting a piece to a uniform size and throwing a label on the back. And a lot of the companies make ink cube labels or ink pad labels. You can use those to stick on your cardstock too. Or if you have a label maker, which I did with this one, you can do that. So here's my swatches for, I want to say this is Concord and Ninth. Yeah. So nothing fancy, but it works. It does work. This is just something that Simple Stories came up with, and it was already done for me. So I'm like, perfect. Cheryl says it's in her box. Okay, great. It just, sometimes too, it's making like an appointment for yourself or with yourself to do certain tasks. And I like to break it down into time segments for myself. This is kind of just like what works for me. If I have a lot of work on my plate and I can't get to things that I want to do, sometimes it just gives me satisfaction to just take 15 minutes or 30 minutes and just do part of it. And then if you have a spot in your craft room where you can just set it aside on a shelf, and then promise yourself within the next 2 or 3 days, you're going to pull it out again and do another 30 minutes. And before you know it, you're going to have it done. And sometimes these types of things like swatching, you know, I don't know, organizing your sentiments, whatever it is that you're doing, they are great things to do to, it allows you to be crafty, but you don't have to be creative. And sometimes that can get your mojo going again too. Just, implementing a new little organization system, or, building up your sentiment stash, or whatever it is that you have as a goal. And it kind of just gets the juices flowing again. Yes. So Shelby said Jennifer Wire has tons of swatches available on her site. And if you're really good with like, I don't know what program you would use. PowerPoint. Is that even a thing anymore? No, it's not PowerPoint. What's that thing called where you can make charts and things? I'm not good at that. I usually give those tasks to Amanda and say, can you make this for me? Because I need this. So she's like, Mom, I'm like, I know, just please do it. So Tanya said, it's a great thing to do when you want to craft but have no real mojo. 100%. And we all have to do things on our lists of stuff. Like, there's lots of things I want to implement in my craft room, and to just sit down and do them all, it feels kind of overwhelming. But to chip away at it a little bit here and a little bit there, I find much more manageable and less stressful. Because there are times when I just want to be crafty, or I feel like organizing, but I don't want to be creative, and I just want to be in my room. It's good therapy too, I think. If you're stressed, or, you're trying to keep yourself from yelling at your spouse, or like whatever, your kids. You don't want to cook dinner one night. Just say, you know what, I got to go in my craft room. Close the door. Turn on some music. Just take a little bit of time for yourself. It's good for you. Okay. So you guys done listening to me yet? With all my great ideas. You're like, be quiet. But sometimes it's just nice to hear that other crafters are experiencing the same things. Like, we all struggle with organization or carving out time to do the things we want to do. I also feel like stuff like this is great if you're trying to avoid doing work. Like, I should be doing this, but you know what? Let's do a live and organize cardstock. It's way more fun. I won't tell you what I should be doing because it might stress you out. So I'm just going to keep that to myself. But there are definitely things on my list that I should be doing. But this was also important. And I think it will clear my head enough that I can tackle those things that I don't really want to do. Well, I'm glad that Heather says she likes that we share these things. I'm glad you like them. I like to share. Okay, so I think I have this. Which one has Dusty Rose on it? Oh, that's this one, because I have Dusty Rose at the top of my pile. Now, Dusty Rose is not a color that I really like. This is Dusty Rose. That's just me. So I have not cut into this one, but I'm going to cut into it now. I remember Dusty Rose was like the color of people's bridesmaids' dresses. I hated it. I think it was a color that was really popular around the time I was getting married, and I'm like, there is no way that I'm having Dusty Rose. And I think it was really popular around the same time that shoulder pads in dresses was really popular. Do you guys remember that? Oh, maybe I'm just showing my age. But oh gosh, I remember. Okay, well, where did the rest of that paper go? I have Dusty Rose out. I guess I don't have all the colors out. Okay, well, let's pull them out. I need moss. No, I need mauve. I'm not sure I have mauve. Again, those are not colors that I love. So I might not have mauve in my stash here, but I might get it just so I can finish my chart. Is that weird? Okay, so Judy says, this is what I need to hear. Medical issues take a lot of time, then have to things, then want to gets pushed. Yes, it's very important to put want to somewhere in there. Otherwise, it's no fun. Yep, it was my color in 1983. Okay, so I got married in 89. And I swear it was still in style then, because now I believe I'd have to go look, but I'm pretty sure my bridesmaids' dresses were peach. So I'm not sure that's much better. I found that since I swatched my other cardstock, it actually makes crafting super easy. 100%, Tanya. You got to put in the work to reap the benefits, I think. And I don't really feel like this is much work. Okay, I'm going to move on. I don't think I have that color. So I need terracotta. And I need rust. So I do have this cardstock kind of filed in the order of color families. I might rearrange it in the order of my swatches to make it easier to find them. But we'll have to see. Now, sage. Where is sage? Oh, there it is. That's a nice color. And moss. Oh, there's moss. Okay, so I don't have mauve, and that doesn't surprise me because I'm not a mauve person. It's kind of right up there with dusty rose. But I had that. Mine were peach and my maid of honor in teal. It's all coming back now. So funny. Oh, it's great to relive. I don't know. My husband was making fun of something the other day and he goes, are you going to wear those shoulder pads like you did? I'm like, shut up. Like, it was a thing. What color is this? This is moss. So that's that one. I could bug him about a lot of things too. He rocked a mullet for a long time. But I also had big hair too. So I don't know. I'm glad the styles have improved a bit. There's sage, rust. I'm waiting for Shelby to chime in. She's usually full set syndrome isn't just for inks. No, it's not. Shelby usually has some funny things to say about things from the past. They did. Shoulder pads made us stronger. Oh, yes, they did. Heather's saying, I'm making swatching cardstock my crafting New Year's resolution. And you know what? It's good to have goals for sure. But don't put it off too long. Really, carve out just little bits of time here and there to do these little projects. You will thank yourself for sure. Oh, I'm sorry. Trust me. I'm always really happy when I do stuff like this. I'm like, there, that's done. Because I'm the kind of person that when I get something in my head, like cardstock swatches, I can't let it go. It just goes around and around and around in my head forever. And I just get super frustrated that I can't get to it. So sometimes you just, 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, and all of a sudden the project's done. Or if you can carve out like a whole evening like we are right now, it's awesome. You guys are so funny. Party lines. Oh, yeah, that was a thing. Unless they went in the dryer and then you had an issue. Here's a shocker. If you know me, my bridesmaids wore black. Well, that's very classic. You were smart. Like a black and white wedding all around. Oh, my gosh. Well, I wish I would have done that because my pictures would have looked way better. Because I look at them now and I'm like, whoa, what was I thinking? But at the time, I thought I was so cool. But, times change and it was where we were. It's part of our history. Shoulder pads and all. And I am on my 6th swatch already. And we're only at an hour and 14 minutes. So this is a really doable project. And I honestly did not prep much. I just pulled out my folder of cardstock and printed off the things, and that was it. That was all the prep I did for today's live. I just knew because I had a really busy weekend that I couldn't commit to anything too complicated. but I'm starting to think already about what I'm going to do next Sunday. Do you guys have any ideas? Any things you would like to see me do? Again, the idea of this is not really it's not a live like I do during the week. I will be crafting. Oh, look at all you smart people that went with black and white. Why didn't I know you then? You could have steered me in the right direction. Oh, well, peach it is. I also had one of those veils that had like the beaded V that came down on your forehead. I do regret that. Anyway. Yeah, so if you guys have any suggestions on what you'd like to see me craft live with. I mean, I have a few things I have in my basket. Tanya, what are you saying now? Megan, I was only 2 when you got ready. Oh, shut up, Megan. You could have been my flower girl. Oh my gosh. Yes, Megan and I craft together sometimes, and we've determined that I could be her mother. That's okay. But yeah, you could have been my little flower girl. Oh gosh. Okay, there's another one done. I'm all about tags lately for scrapbooks and cards. The more layers, the better. Oh, I love tags too. Tags are a great thing. All right, what other colors do I have out here? Let's get rid of these. Whoa. So this is the olive. What has olive on it? This one. I have all my cardstock out here. So this is navy. Okay, so Marianne, I would like to see a refresher with foiling with my foil scraps, like reverse foiling. We touched on that a little bit. How about the big bow on your bum? Oh, I did not do that, but did you? Okay, so Marianne said she would like to see a refresher. Yes, foiling. Well, foiling is always a hot topic, and I will definitely do more foiling for sure. I love to foil. And then the reverse foiling. Well, yeah, there's lots of ways to do that. So, do you prefer toner foiling or the glimmer foil? Because that's a thing too. I do a lot. I find I demo a lot of glimmer. I don't pull out my toner stuff very often, and there's no reason that I don't, because I have lots of the products. So maybe I should do something with that. But I have so many things on my to-do list. It's hard to keep up with it all. Who cares what the content is next week? Tanya, you're funny. So yeah, so we should all be carving out a little time for ourselves next Sunday. I mean, I'm really hoping to pull it together and being able to do it. But I will advertise a few days ahead just so everybody knows. But my intention is to do something. Oh, Cynthia, rumor has it my husband got me a fuse. Rumor being I bought it on his credit card with his permission. Woohoo! This is what you're getting me for Christmas. I love to foil. I think it's a really great system to have. And I don't use it for every project, but it is certainly nice to pull it out. I love it for sentiments for sure. When I foil, I tend to like it on the conservative side, meaning that I don't want my project to look like the Las Vegas Strip. I don't want to regret it like I regret the peach. But I do love to add foil to things, and especially during the holidays, because it's just a time when you want a little extra shine and a little extra sparkle. And I see Shelby just commented, so let's see what she said. She said, I just want you to keep doing crafty date nights so I can have time alone. Oh, well, that's not a problem. I told my husband I had to do a live tonight, but he's downstairs working as well. I said, perfect. You just go do your thing. To Shelby, I tell my husband I have to go to a crop on Sunday night, but don't need to load up the car. Oh, yes. And so that's another thing that I love about the virtual world we live in now is that, so I'm a person who, like, I love to get together with my friends. I really do. But I also love just the idea of coming into my room and everything that I need is here. I don't have to decide ahead what I'm going to do, and I don't have to pack it. I don't have to do all that stuff. And I can still be really creative. And doing it with friends is fun. And that's why the live option is good. Although I have to get used to this crafting live thing because sometimes I feel rushed, but I shouldn't. I should just be like, well, I'm doing it live and it's taking as long as it takes. But look at there, another one done. This is great. But yeah, I'm enjoying it too. I also love the company of YouTube. Like I listen to it a lot now when I'm working from home. As long as I'm not doing something that I really have to concentrate on, then I usually have it playing. Sometimes the volume is very low, but it's on for me. I do like the company. It's kind of like watching a TV show, but it's something that interests me. And I learn things from people all the time. Or I see something and it gives me an idea. I'm like, ooh, you know what I just thought of? And then, I go from there. My husband finally listened on the gift front and got me a big gift card. Oh, yes. Yes, he did. Shelby was very lucky. Yeah. When he called me, I was like, say what? But Shelby has been getting lots of really fun things lately. Lots of very practical additions to her craft room that I know she's going to love. I love the crafting journey that she's on right now. She's having a lot of fun with that, which is a great gift. So tell your husbands that you need a TSF gift card for Christmas because then you can go on a fun crafting journey too. Carrie Turner, I'm an introvert, so I get to listen to people without having to interact. Yeah. I mean, I like to interact with people, but I do like less chaos in my life. I like a steady, even pace, and I can control that in my craft room, which is kind of nice. And I can control it from home. And I mean, I have other hobbies too, like I said, organizing is a hobby. So I like to do that, and I like to we have a couple of shows that we watch on TV together. So I also like things that I can do in front of the TV. I've recently, because I've started watching Nicole Spohr, she is a cross stitcher. And I used to cross stitch when I was much, 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 much younger. And so I've recently started doing some of that, at 10 o'clock at night when I finish working. Just to kind of unwind, I'll watch TV, but I don't need to watch TV, so I will be busy doing something. So I have little projects on the go that are fun, but I like to read. So there's lots of things that you can do. Okay, so how many more do we have to go? I have 3 more. These 3 right here. I'm just going to keep going, guys. I mean, if you need to leave, I understand. But we're at 1 hour and 23, and I want to finish this, but I don't have all these colors pulled, so I'm going to pull them out. Let's do the winter version. So cranberry, that's a nice deep red. Let's see if I've got that. I do. A scrap of that one. So cranberry and pine. Oh, pine's a nice green for sure. Where are my greens? There's pine. And evergreen. Nope, no scrap for that one. See, I was going to say, I just recently used that. And then Winter Mint. So that one is going to be up here, I think. Which color? Oh, no, I have teal. It's Pool I don't have. Okay. So where is Winter Mint? Huh. Sorry, it's boring, but I'm trying to find my... This is why I think I need to reorganize. And again, this is something when I'm done here tonight, I could take this out to the couch and I could reorganize my cardstock the way that there it is. It is in my file while I'm watching TV. Midnight, that's a dark blue. And then I will be much happier when I'm going to look for stuff. And Oatmeal. That's a nice color too. They have a lot of really nice colors, the Color Vibe. And for those of you tuning in a little late, we do still have Click and Save till midnight. And it is 20% off. So you can totally cash in on that before midnight and get 20% off if you want to fill things in. Shelby says, I'm spending a lot of time organizing my new space. Yeah, it's fun to do. And you don't have to do the whole thing all at once, just little sections of it here and there. And then sometimes I find that I organize, but then there's something about it that I don't love, and then I'll reorganize it again. Sometimes you have to be in your space a little bit before you can appreciate how you want it. So it kind of is an ongoing thing. And then, of course, you add new things, and then there's that. So there's Oatmeal. And Midnight is next. This one's a bit big. I do have to go. I enjoy the lives. I would enjoy watching a foiling video. I use a laminator with mostly Gina K Polyglaze. Have a great evening, everyone. Yep, no problem. It's nice. I'm glad you came by. You can always finish watching it afterwards, but I get it. But I do want to finish this, so I'm just gonna keep carrying on because I'm almost there. Oh, and you know what else I had to share? I just about forgot. I had to share my projects from the last live. You'd love to see how people organize their space. Oh, yeah, there's so many different ways to do stuff. I did post a few things like way back in our inspiration group. If you search my name and go back a while, you'll see some things I put in there. I know Shelby has a video in there too of her space, which is cool. Oh, she's working on something new. She'll share it when it's done. Okay, so we'll just take a break from the swatching for a second. So remember last time I did the Hero Arts Presents stuff, and I made the shaker card live. I added a little bit of holly and berries there, but that's the card that I did finish online when we did it that night. And then I had cut out stuff for a slimline card. So this is the card that I finished off screen, which turned out really cute. And then I did make a tag as well. So that was what I finished up from the live that we did last Sunday. So if you want to watch that process, we did work with foil and things in that video. And so you can go back. I've set up a playlist for these videos, and we will file them under there because I think it's an easy way to find the videos. And if you want to go back and refer to something or whatever, it's easy to find. But yeah, I had a lot of fun creating with that product. And I ended up with some finished cards, which was really great to add to my stash. Yeah, I can't wait either, Shelby. What are you working on? What is your new system? I don't think you've shared that information with me. I thought we were friends. Like, I don't know anything about a new system. Let's see if she gives us an idea of what it's about. Maybe I need a new system. I need a lot of new things. Okay, here's this one. Some of these pieces I have used, but they're still big. Okay, there's that. That's a nice color combination too. Yeah, I was really impressed with my cards. I thought they did turn out really good. And I used some new embossing folders on them too for the promotion that we did on Black Friday, which was really convenient. So I could use them as samples. I might have thought of that when I was finishing off my cards and thought, hey. Okay, one more piece here. Does this fit in here? Of course not. Okay. I'm definitely going to be taking this cardstock out to my couch afterwards and reorganizing it and putting all this back, because since I have a bunch of sheets out, it's a good time to do it. And I'll have these lovely swatch cards available to help me. If you get a new system, you know I will have to buy it. Oh, I'm not sure it's anything you can buy. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. She's keeping it top secret. She's not even saying anything. There are new products coming out, though. Totally Tiffany, she has rebranded her entire line, and starting tomorrow night, actually, she's doing videos on her YouTube channel that is releasing all the new products again, and they're going to be available mid-January. So we have the whole collection coming in. We're very excited about that. I ordered that like 7 or 8 months ago. But there's a lot of talk about it now, and it will be releasing soon. So that is a good timing too, I think, because it's in January, and a lot of people are kind of purging and reorganizing while they're hibernating from what's going on outside. Shelby says it's top secret. Oh my gosh. Well, we're going to have a talk tomorrow about this top secret system you're working on. But yeah, so we do have that coming in whenever it's available. And I'm going to use up this glue tube soon, which is going to be great. I normally use my glue press, but because I've been using my glue press so much, I have some unopened glue that I never use. And I thought, you know what, I got to use these up and free up some space on my shelf. So I'm trying to use up these bottles that I'd already started before the glue goes bad and ends up in the garbage. So that is why I'm using that. But sometimes the glue press is really nice, but sometimes I want like a faster flow of glue. And I tried using the bigger tip on the bottle, and that is a no-go. That's too much glue. So this works out quite nicely, but I'm really just using up the glue that I have. So I love this color palette right here. This is a good one. I think she announced it in a trade show that in January that her new, yes, it is coming very soon. January 15th, I think. Some things they discontinued. Some things they redesigned. Well, a lot of the things they redesigned. And then they have some new stuff too. So it's been a while since I've looked at it, but it's pretty great stuff. A lot of really great things. Okay, I'm down to 2. I need to pull some more colors here. So we need wine. Oh, that's a red. Oh, there's wine right there. I'm just trying to see if I have a scrap. Does not look like it. So we have wine and we have mulberry. What color is mulberry? I don't know what color that is. Eggplant. That's another one I don't know that I have. Because that would be purple. Maybe I do. Well, I don't see it. forest green. I have that. Deep teal. Yep. Wine is always a good idea, yes. And indigo. There we go. So I don't think I have mulberry. Shelby, what color would mulberry be? But I don't see it in here, but I might find it later when I... I don't see it. And then I'm going to pull these out. So cinnamon. So that was in the reds. There we go. I tried to get all of these pulled out ahead of time, but I just didn't have the time to do it. So cinnamon, pumpkin. Good color. Okay, and then mustard. Oh, mustard is a very popular color. We sell a lot of mustard. Mustard. Avocado, which is green, which is right here. And cornflower, which is a blue. I just saw that one. There it is. And espresso, which is a very dark brown. Okay, so mulberry is a deep purple. Yeah, I thought so too. Jan is missing the same colors as me. Well, we must like the same things, but I do not have mulberry. So it's another one I'm going to have to add to my list. Tomorrow when I go into the store, I'm going to take my swatch cards with me and I'm going to say, I need this and this and this. It'll be very easy to figure out what I need. Okay, now let's cut these up real quick. We're almost done, ladies. So Tanya, did you say you were swatching your cardstock or you already have? So this is espresso. I'm not sure if my comments are working. I wonder what you use these swatches for. Well, so I use them to match up to projects that I'm working on. Rather than like pulling all the paper off my wall, trying to find the right color, you just pull out your swatch cards and you can lay it right up next to each other. Now, I know you've been ordering online for a lot of years already, but some of our local customers, this is new for them. Winey purple, new color. Yeah, I don't think I have that one. This is new for them to have to pick out cardstock online. And so swatching is a great idea. And it's just a very good tool to have in your craft room. Same thing like if you swatch your inks or your embossing powders or anything like that. Swatching your cardstock is very, very helpful when creating or trying to decide what colors you're going to use, etc. I find it to be a very helpful tool. And Spellbinders, Simple Stories just came out with this free download. I should put the link in there again for you. A free download that you can get these printouts to make your own swatch cards. So there is the link again. It took you a full day. Well, then I think I'm doing great here. Did I cut this color yet? No, I did not. I'm going to have it done in a couple of hours, which is awesome. But again, I had the template already done for me, so it makes it really easy. And I also have to reorganize my cardstock, which I do plan to do after the live when I'm watching TV. And I won't go to bed until it's done. Because once I start, I kind of want to finish it. But if you can't, then you just set it aside and come back in a couple of days or 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, and you'll have it done. Now, Shelby, do you have any cardstock swatches done? Or is that something new for your room? I know you have been stocking up on some of your favorite colors. I'm just interested to know if you have any swatch system in place. It's also nice if you go like places to craft with people and, you know, you want to work on a project. It's easy to pull out your swatches and quickly pick out colors. Like, it's just so nice. I'm seeing comments I gotta read. What is the weight of this cardstock? So this is Color Vibe. So this is not a super heavy weight. I would say it's probably, I don't know if it would be 80 pound or 60 pound. But it is, I would say it's mainly for scrapbooking. And it's not a cardstock I would personally use for my card making, but that's not to say that you can't use it for your card making, because you can. It's just not as heavy as I would like it to be. But they have 60 colors in the collection. And on one side, it's got a dot. And then on the other side, it's solid. And this is a white core paper. So in other words, if I was to sand this, there's white in between the two layers. So that would show. Whereas the cardstock, like from Spellbinders or Concord and Ninth, those companies, that's like a full cardstock color all the way through. It's not a white core paper. So, and it comes in, this comes in 12 by 12 sheets, not 8.5 by 11. Great for scrapbooking for sure. It matches all the Simple Stories collection because it's their line of paper, and it's the cardstock collection that we carry for full size sheets for sure. I wasn't sure how to do it because it's double-sided. Yeah, and so it's tricky. And using the dies to do the swatching does take a little bit more time for sure. But if you're the kind of person that loves to have that uniform sort of professional look, it's definitely a nice thing to do. But like I said, I've done very, very simple swatching before, and it works just as well. I wonder how well it cuts. Oh, beautifully. Oh my gosh. So back when we used to make kits, we did a lot of cutting on the Silhouette machine, and we used this Color Vibe cardstock all the time. It cuts very, very nicely on the die cut machines. So I highly recommend. It's not too heavy, and it just cuts like butter. It's just awesome. So that I can attest to. Okay, so this is, I don't have two colors on this one. Okay, there. So those are all my large pieces that I have cut. So isn't that great? Yes, so Tanya can say the same thing. Good. It's good to have some reinforcement there. I do love how it cuts on die cut machines for sure. Okay, indigo. So we're almost done, ladies. Or rather, I'm almost done. Hopefully you were productive with whatever you were crafting with. If you are crafting. Forest green. This is a nice deep palette on this one. It's called their Darks collection, but I'm missing two of them. But that will get remedied this week. Whoa. Okay. Not yet, but I'm inspired. I have a lot of 8.5 by 11, so thinking some kind of tag system. Yeah, it definitely does. And I mean, it's such a personal thing, how you organize things in your craft room. Because people always ask me, well, what do you do for this? And I mean, happy to share what I do, but that doesn't mean it's going to be the best option for you, because I made that mistake when I first started organizing. I'm like, oh, well, so-and-so does it like this, so I'm going to do it like this. And I tried to like it, but it just wasn't me. I see all those beautiful rooms on Pinterest, where everything's behind a door and in a drawer and, nicely displayed in a rainbow. Well, that's not me. I like bins. I like to get things out easily and put things away easily. That is the key for me. And it took me a little while to learn that. And I'm quite happy admitting that that doesn't work for me. So, I mean, I wouldn't say I have a terrible craft room, but it's not like Pinterest worthy, I don't think. I mean, some of you might think it is, but it's just very functional. And that to me is more important than anything else. Is functionality. You have to be able to function in your own space. It's 65 pound. Okay, that's good information. So Shelby said that this is 65 pound cardstock. So quite a bit lighter than the 100 and 110 pound that most of the cardstock companies are now for card making. Is there a die you can use to make swatches out of cardstock? There sure is. So Spellbinders has a beautiful system. I don't know if we have any of them in stock, but it's this Petal die. Oh my gosh, I love it. It makes a really nice large swatch, and it gives you a space to write the name of the cardstock here, and then you can make the tabs all the same color, and that kind of reinforces it on the ring, which is nice. So Spellbinders has a nice system, and we're happy to order it in. We've had it several times already. I should probably maybe have a few in stock. That's a good reminder. I should probably do that. Just have a few, because some people like to have an actual die to do everything. But I have just used my trimmer and cut. I'll just show you here in a sec. I've just cut strips of paper and put them on a ring. And then on the back, I just use my label machine. So you can totally do something like that too. And it's very functional. And it doesn't take as much time. You can pick a favorite shape that you have too, like whether it be a tag or a die cut or whatever. I think this was a punch. And I did my ink swatches on that. I cut it out in white and then I stamped on it and ink blended to make some quick ink swatches. But you could do the same thing for cardstock that way too. There's lots of options. The reason I'm doing it this way tonight is because Simple Stories came out with a free download template that you could just print, and it had all the names of the cardstock on it already, and it's all spaced out perfectly. So you can just pop your cardstock right on there and then put all of these on a ring and it's done. So they did the work for me, which I am happy for. And I thought it was just something that I could do live and just sort of share some of the things that I've done. But there's lots of ways to do it. And really, you just have to sort of figure out what works best for you. And I have different options for different companies just because that's what I did at the time. I don't care if they all match exactly. But I know for some people that is important. So whatever floats your boat. Oh, trimmer's a great idea. We all have those. Yep, don't make it complicated. Make it functional. And make it achievable. Like that's another big thing too, is whatever is going to get it done for you, that's the system you should use. That's my advice for what it's worth. Well, we're just gluing down the last few sections here and I am done. I can't believe I got it all done. And my video is at 1 hour and 48 minutes and 2 hours and I'm going to be finished, which is awesome. And then what time will that make it? 9 o'clock, which is still plenty early for me to move to the couch and finish organizing my file that I put my paper in. And I'm going to rearrange it in my swatch color order. So it makes it super easy to look them up and find them. And then put all my scraps back. And it'll be great. And I didn't have to do it all by myself. I got to hang out with all you guys. Okay. Yep, a small tag would work out good too. I mean, again, anytime you're using a die to do it, you're having to run that die through your machine over and over and over. If you're using a trimmer, it's like super fast. You can cut things pretty quickly. But whatever you enjoy doing is what you should do. Okay, so let's pull these out. See, so these are going to be great. Now I'm going to actually, I'm actually going to complete this one step further. And I'm going to punch my holes and put them on a ring, because then I'm really done. Just grabbing a ring. So we have for sale, I think the rings that I used for the Spellbinders ones, these are nice, big, wide rings that you can use. These are shower curtain hooks from Dollarama. I use them on a curtain rod in my closet to hang my paper collections. So sometimes I just use these because I have them handy, but they don't work if you have a lot of, like if your swatches are thick, because it doesn't work. It's too tight, but this will work for a small little thing like this. So I am going to take half of this. So I'm going to use a crocodile. If you guys have never seen one of those, this is an old tool. It can punch through like many layers of paper. And I'm just going to punch through that. And then this one, I'm going to punch through this. Trying to keep it even. Okay, so what do we see here? Spellbinders die is incredible. Yes, it is. Oh, we do have the Swatch Petal. Okay, so the Swatch Petal is this one. Is it this one that we have in stock, Shelby? Or is it the large one like this? I forget what they're called. Two in stock called the Swatch Petal. So this one or this one? Because this one's nice if you want to make color combinations. I just don't know if it's the best way to swatch your cardstock. But this one is a nice system to use for sure. So I'll just wait for Shelby to respond on that. I don't know. So then you can just put these right on the ring, like so. And then I'm good to go. So now I have this awesome swatch system done up for my cardstock. Isn't that great? I love this. And I only have, what, 3 colors missing? Out of the 66, I think. So 2 there. And 1 there. That's 3. Oh, it'll be 4. 4 colors, and I have all of the rest, which is amazing. And now they're organized. So there, that's it. Under 2 hours and finished. And I did basically no prep ahead of time. So that is good. And it's done. And like I said, now I'll just organize my file, and then it'll make it really easy to find my cardstock when I go to look. So thank you so much for keeping me company. And just a reminder again that the Click and Save ends tonight at midnight. And you get 20% off most items in the store. So if you want to stock up on some cardstock, you can. I'm just going to include that link one more time to make it easy for you to find it. And it is a free download on the Simple Stories website that you can do the exact templates that I just do for Color Vibe. Now, no, it doesn't work. Never mind. So yeah, that's what I know. Okay, well, I'm gonna sign out for tonight. And if you guys are swatching, happy swatching or crafting or whatever you're doing. And I hope to see you again soon. Thanks for spending the night with me.